Hey everyone, what's going on? So, probably the biggest news story today in the media was that there was 8 people killed at the Travis Scott concert, which was the Astroworld Festival in Houston. And this story comes just after the Houston Astros lose to the Atlanta Braves in the World Series. And this is not even surprising to me because every single year within these sports championships, we get all kinds of deaths and all kinds of news stories that are linked up to these sports championships. And for example, think about the airplane crash that happened in Houston while they were playing the Boston Red Sox and the Boston, Atlanta used to be the Boston Braves. And we also got the story about the Atlanta news anchor Jovita Moore dying during the World Series. We got a story about Sitting Bull's great grandson being identified by DNA, right? Think about Sitting Bull and the Braves and the Indians, and even clear back when the Indians made the World Series. That was right around the time that we all of a sudden started getting all these stories about the Dakota Access Pipeline, and they just do this constantly. We even got the death of Ernie Johnson's son, Ernie Johnson, the guy known for Atlanta, just all kinds of stuff. It's like there's always these deaths in the news and stories in the news that are linked up to what is going on with the sports championships. And now the most recent story is right after the Astros lose. There's a story of 8 people dead at the Travis Scott concert in the Astro World Festival in Houston. And it's a whole tribute to the Atlanta Braves, too. If you look up Travis Scott, he was born on the 120th day of the year. And in this language of gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words and phrases, if you write out Atlanta, Atlanta just so happens to equal 120. Atlanta also equals 95, and if you go to watch this video here that I just put out on November 2nd, the whole World Series was all about 95. Such as we had the death of Hank Aaron, the former Atlanta Brave, earlier this year on the 22nd day of the year. And notice that, let's type out Braves equal 95 as well, right? So Atlanta 95, but Braves 95 and 22. Hank Aaron died on the 22nd day of the year. The Braves haven't been to a World Series for 22 years, and that World Series that they were in was the 95th World Series, and the last time they won a World Series was in 1995 over the Cleveland Indians, who equal 95, and a whole lot more. The last time the Cleveland Indians won the World Series was over the Boston Braves, and that was the same year that Babe Ruth had died, and Babe Ruth is who Hank Aaron broke his record, right? Hank Aaron is known for breaking Babe Ruth's record 2 months and 2 days after Babe Ruth's birthday, and the Astros coach Dusty Baker was on deck when Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record, and the Astros had 95 regular season wins, and the Braves made the World Series, after getting their 95th win of the season, and Hank Aaron died 9 months and 5 days before the World Series began, and the Braves just won the World Series 95 days before what would have been his 87th birthday. So it's all about the number 95, right? And I'm bringing this up because I recently made a video where I talked about SpongeBob. I had a synchronicity with SpongeBob. See if I can find it in here really quick. I know it's in this video. I can't remember exactly where it is in this video. But I talked about how I had synchronicity with SpongeBob and Pluto TV and so on. And I knew there was something important to SpongeBob because Alec Baldwin also was Dennis the Hitman on SpongeBob and a whole bunch of other stuff. So SpongeBob was very important. And if you recall, if you go back to Super Bowl 53, which I mentioned in that video, SpongeBob actually, they played the trumpets, and then right as they played this 35th episode where they played the trumpets, then they had like a thing shoot down into the Super Bowl from space, and Travis Scott started playing his song Sicko Mode. And would you believe that in gematria, SpongeBob equals 95? SpongeBob 95. And the Super Bowl was held 9 months and 5 days after Travis Scott's birthday. And they've changed it now, but Back then, they had his middle name had an A right here, but now it's an O. If you look at his name, Wikipedia does this all the time. They change stuff to just link up to certain things, right? But if you write it with the A, his name equaled 95. So his name equaled 95 that way, just the way they had his Wikipedia page until just after the Super Bowl, then they changed it to an L. But, his name equaled 95. The Super Bowl's 9 months and 5 days after his birthday. SpongeBob introduces him at the Super Bowl halftime show. SpongeBob equals 95. I recently just had synchronicity with SpongeBob, and I thought SpongeBob was important. And, the reason I bring this up is that if you look up the Astroworld album, the Astroworld album released on August 3rd, which is also Tom Brady's birthday and a whole lot more, It was Tom Brady's 41st birthday, and the word Super Bowl equals 41, and the Patriots went on to seal the game with the 41-yard field goal and a whole lot more, but remember how the Patriots lost to the Eagles with 41 points the year before, and, it's just never ending. But notice that Astroworld, it came out 95 days before this, the anniversary of this was 95 days before this concert, like where people died at this concert. 95 days. Super Bowl 53 was also held in Atlanta, right? If you look up Super Bowl 53, I don't know if I put a screenshot in here, but look up Super Bowl 53. It was held in Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right? And it was Super Bowl 53. They just so happened to change Travis Scott's name on Wikipedia on September 1st, which was 5 months and 3 days before the Super Bowl began that year. Super Bowl 53, they changed his name to equal 95, 5 months and 3 days before that. Los Angeles, who was in the Super Bowl, equals 53. Patriots, who's in the Super Bowl, equals 53. They had a 53-year-old referee named John Perry. John Perry equals 53. I talked about how it was all linked up to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. The Nebraska Cornhuskers only played in 53 bowl games. The only touchdown of that game was by Sony Michel on the 53rd yard of the game. Or the 53rd yard of the Patriots. It's just insane, right? 53. They changed his name 5 months and 3 days before the Super Bowl. Another connection to Atlanta is that this story of the crowd crush, the CC, right? The CC, that's why all of the news outlets have been calling it a crowd crush, right? It says surge here, but pretty much I've seen crowd crush all over the place. CC. And, think about Catholic Church, right? Christopher Columbus, who supposedly discovered America. Christopher Columbus, the Native Americans, right? Cecil Calvert, the guy who founded the Catholic colony in the area of Washington, D.C., that was originally owned by a guy named Francis Pope. And right now we have Pope Francis, who's the first Jesuit Pope, and so on, right? It's a big Catholic thing. And November 5th is the big Jesuit day, right? November 5th is the day that leaves 56 days in the year, and Society of Jesus equals 56. And, it's a humongous number with the Society of Jesus. Even the founder, Ignatius of Loyola, he died in the year 56 and a whole lot more, But remember the 5th of November, right? The Guy Fawkes guy, right? They were trying to assassinate King James and so on, and it was the Jesuits who were trying to assassinate King James. So, a very important day in regards to the Jesuits and so on. But notice how this happened 189 days after Travis Scott's birthday. And if you read out Braves in the Francis Bacon Gematria that I've been saying is so important, it equals 189. Also, this happened in NRG Park. That equals 189, right? Also 40, right? That was a big number with SpongeBob. SpongeBob equaled 40, and SpongeBob also equals, well, it doesn't. SpongeBob equals 95, but it would be that way. But still 40 and so on, right? I think I talked about this in this post even. Travis Scott equals 40, SpongeBob 40, Sicko Mode 40 and 149. Sicko Mode also equals 149, which is the 35th prime number. And that's very interesting because before this Super Bowl, once again, SpongeBob got nominated to be part of the Super Bowl halftime show for Super Bowl 53. And that was interesting because, in regards to deaths, we got the death of the creator of SpongeBob just before Super Bowl 53. And he died on the same day that the single for Sicko Mode came out, which was 3 months and 5 days before that he died, right? So he died 3 months and 5 days after his birthday. And he died on the day leaving 35 days in the year. And then they decided to put SpongeBob's 35th episode in the Super Bowl. So there was a clip from the 35th episode of SpongeBob in the Super Bowl 53. Think about the reflections too. 35 and 53, how they're, reflections of each other. They choose the 35th episode. If you go and watch that 35th episode, they put a bunch of emphasis on this guy wearing a number 35 jersey even. 35 jersey in the 35th episode. And then the SpongeBob creator, he dies 3 months and 5 days after his birthday on the day leaving 35 days in the year. In relation to the Jesuits and Catholic and so on, the word Catholic also equals 35. That's why the 35th president was JFK, the first Catholic president, who died at the age of 46. And he died, he met the Pope 35 days after his 46th birthday and then died later that year. And the word Catholic also equals 46. It equals 35 and 46. That's why Joe Biden is the 46th president, the second Catholic president, and a whole lot more. But, it's absolutely why they chose that SpongeBob episode to be aired in that. They also had Maroon 5. Maroon 5 was the other act, and Maroon 5 equals 53 in gematria. If I could point it, if I have it in here. But Maroon 5 equals 53, just throwing that out there. And they did a bunch of blackface stuff in the media right before that. And then Maroon 5 has a song called Moves Like Jagger, like the play on Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones, who have the song called Paint It Black, And then the whole thing was about people doing blackface leading up to that. It's just so ridiculous. And then Mick Jagger got sick or injured or something at his concert 53 days later after Super Bowl 53 or something of the sort, It's just such a joke. These scripted media stories, it's just so insane that people can't catch on to this. Speaking of not catching on, I started this video late last night, and now it's in the morning here, and I go to the news, and look what one of the big stories is in the news. UB40 founding member ASTRO dies following short illness. So this guy nicknamed Astro from the band UB40 dies now. How do you not catch on to this? The Astroworld Festival, crowd crush. Then Astro dies right after the Astros losing the World Series. It's just ridiculous. His real name was Terrence Wilson. Terrence Wilson in gematria equals 189. Just like how Braves equal 189. Just like how the Astroworld Festival thing happened 189 days before Travis Scott's birthday. And Astroworld, or Energy Park, equals 189. And it's connected to baseball because his name also equals 162 and 63, and the Major League plays 162 regular season games, and Major League Baseball just so happens to equal 162 and 63. Notice how Major League equals 189 as well. Also equals 241, which is the 53rd prime. Terrence Wilson, 241. That's the 53rd prime number. Think how I'm talking about how this is related to Super Bowl 53. What else is interesting in regards to Super Bowl 53 with all this is I was looking at Zach's blog, and he talked about how Travis Scott was synced up to the blackout that happened in Houston back on Valentine's Day. And the song Sicko Mode that has lyrics had me out like a light, like out like a light, basically, right? Think about a blackout. That single released 909 days before that Houston blackout. And right around that same time, number 99 of the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt, wanted out of Houston. Think about Watt, electricity. But remember, in the 2019 season, or the Super Bowl 53 season, J.J. Watt was also important to a big narrative because that was the 99th season of the NFL, and the Los Angeles Rams then went on to make the Super Bowl, and they haven't won a Super Bowl since the 1999 season, and their star player was Aaron Donald, who equals 99 and wears number 99, and his birthday is 5/23, which is the 99th prime number. And, J.J. Watt, he broke Alex Smith's leg, right? And Alex Smith was the Washington Redskin who got his leg broke exactly 33 years to the day, like the other Washington Redskin, Joe Theismann. And, Alex Smith wore the number 11. That happened the 11th week of the 99th NFL season. And it was in November in the 11th month, and Alex Smith equals 111. Think about JJ. J is the first letter, so 11. JJ was the 11th pick in the 2011 draft. If you spell out the word 11, it equals 99. Redskins equal 99. The Redskins began their season on 9-9 that year. Joe Theismann was born on 9-9 and was the 99th pick. I mean, how do people not see the ridiculousness of this, And anyway, after that, Alex Smith didn't come back for exactly 99 weeks later, and his first game was against none other than the Los Angeles Rams, the team who went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Patriots also equal 99 in the 99th season of the NFL. I mean, so it's, it's absolute, or New England's 99, not Patriots, but it's just like, what are the odds of all this? So I know there's an important thing with how that syncs up as well with the blackout stuff. And also think about how Travis Scott was with SpongeBob at Super Bowl 53, and that was in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But the Blackout Bowl in 2013, that was also in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right? It was Mercedes-Benz Superdome, but the one in New Orleans. And this is all interesting because, this is connected to New Orleans, and think about Hurricane Katrina and so on. And, I literally recently made a big old video talking about how the World Series was all linked up to Kanye West and, right, World Series connected to Kanye West and pig symbolism and everything. And think about how Travis Scott is married to, or not married, but he has a kid with, what is it, Kylie Jenner? Think about, Kanye West and the Jenners and Kardashian and whatever, And also Travis Scott, he signed something, can't remember what it was. We'll look it up really quick, but it's just interesting here. I'm trying to think of the blackout stuff, but Travis Scott, he is associated with Kanye West for something. He signed a publishing deal with Kanye West Good Music back in 2012, which is interesting because the 2012 season was the season of the blackout Super Bowl. Kanye West and Hurricane Harvey was really important to this World Series because Kanye West released his album that had the song called Hurricane on it on the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and Kanye West also said that George Bush doesn't care about black people and so on. So, he was famous for Hurricane Katrina stuff. There's a whole lot more to that. I'm not going to keep explaining it. You can watch that other video, but notice Blackout Bowl also equals 189 in gematria. How interesting. Blackout Bowl, 189, so the Ravens, I don't know. Baltimore equals 95 as well, and 189. How interesting, because they were in the Blackout Bowl. Oh, man. Baltimore Ravens. 66 even, and notice how the Astroworld Festival thing was months and 6 days before Travis Scott's birthday or after, and also 189 days. Just Ravens also equals 38. And think how Pope Francis became the Pope 38 days after the Blackout Bowl, right? Pope Francis became the Pope 38 days later. Think about Baltimore, the Catholic colony. Super Bowl 38 was held in Houston. And Super Bowl 38 was when Justin Timberlake accidentally showed Janet Jackson's boob. And that was all linked up to Charles Manson and his theory about black people rising up in the Beatles song called Blackbird. And think about the raven that's a black bird. Also, think about John Harbaugh, whose birthday is 9/23, the coach of the Baltimore Ravens. And 9/23 was that big day that Pope Francis came to the United States and visited the White House at 9:23 in the morning. And he arrived on his 923rd day as being the Pope and a whole lot more, right? So the Baltimore Ravens are really linked up to Pope Francis. Think about Francis Pope and the Catholic colony in Baltimore. But in relation to Charles Manson, I've also talked about how he was important to that pig symbolism and these other videos with like Alec Baldwin and the crow. Even think about the crow, how it was a black bird. So there's something interesting there. I don't know the full narrative, but I know that it's interrelated somehow. I was trying to look at this Astro guy really quick too. I'm just trying to piece some stuff together, but there's definitely so much interesting things. Think about how, right? I talked about the number 99, but also that SpongeBob episode was the 35th episode, synced up to the creator who died on the day leaving 35 days in the year and a bunch more. And this number synced to Houston, but Astro. What another interesting thing? The band is UB40, right? And think about like emphasis on the number 40. But think about how SpongeBob equaled 40, and how Travis Scott equals 40, and how Sicko Mode is 40, and so on. Makes me wonder about something with that. But also just interesting, UB. So that's 23, right? U is the 21st letter, plus B is the second letter. So we got a 23. And if you add 40 to that, it gives you 63, right? Like Terrence Wilson. So, there's some interesting things to look at with that guy. His birthday, too, was also 6/24, it says. Let's see if I can find it here. So, June 24th. And this is interesting because I just made a blog post about connecting the June 24th Miami building collapse to the building collapse that happened in Nigeria in the beginning of October. Let's see if I can find it here really quick. But I'm not going to go on, maybe I'll make a separate video on this because it doesn't necessarily pertain to what I'm saying, but I just find it interesting. His birthday is 6/24, which is the day of that Miami building collapse. And that was also linked up to the Super Bowl in 2018. So, but the moral of the story is that I connected it to Hakeem Olajuwon, who is from Nigeria, but Hakeem Olajuwon's nickname is The Dream, and he's known mostly for playing in Houston, right? So, I don't know, that's interesting. I even have a 40 in there. Okay, it happened on the 40th day of the French Republic. They also said that the Astro guy, he got his name from a pair of Doc Marten boots. Doc Martens equals 40 as well, right? 131 like Super Bowl, like Travis Scott. So 112 like Super Bowl as well. And interesting too, he died 99 days before the Super Bowl this year, right? And Astro equals 99. Talk about how it's really important to Super Bowl 53, the 99th season of the NFL. So this has been a really important number all year, like Prince Philip, who died on the 99th day of the year at the age of 99, and the word Queen equals 99. It was synced up to Queen Elizabeth, and a whole lot more. But I'll look more into that guy, because I feel like there's probably a connection to the song Red, Red Wine, and a whole lot more. But I've also, it's funny, because my last video, I talked all about how the stuff from 2019 is coming back, and it's synced up to the number 310 like crazy, and is all important to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that Super Bowl 53 was synced up to the Ethiopian airline crash on the date 310. It had a lot to do with Moses, and that's why the Nebraska Cornhuskers were important. So it's interesting that I mentioned all this, and now we're getting all these connections to Super Bowl 53. But, and November 6th was the 310th day of the year. Talked about how it's synced up to UFC 268. I don't even know who won. I never even looked this up. But let's see, who did win it? Did Usman win? He did. And he's the Nigerian, right? But moving on, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it connects back to SpongeBob. And on Friday night, after my kids went to bed, usually on Friday nights, once they go to bed, I usually go to the bar, just for whatever, just to go talk to people, because I usually have to DJ on Saturday nights. I don't usually get any time to just go hang out, whatever. And a lot of times late at night, I'll go to the bar and hang out. And I got there's this older guy who was talking all about, I don't even know, he was talking about this knowledge. I've talked to him about it before. He told me about the Bilderberg Group and a bunch of stuff like that. He knows a lot of stuff. And there was like 5 people there, so I just sat there and talked to him and whatever. And then I went up to the other bar because that one was closing, and there was like 5 people there, and I started talking to this kid named Jimmy Kirk, who is interesting. Think about Star Trek, and his name is Jimmy Kirk. His real name is James Kirk, and he even told me, like, at his old job, they used to call him Captain because of that, Captain Kirk. Something I've talked about a lot with William Shatner and Chris Pine and a whole bunch of stuff, but somehow we started talking about old movies, and I talked about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, probably because of this knowledge, but right after that, he started talking about The Lost Boys, and I was like, there's no way he even reads my blog or watches these videos. He has no idea that I've connected The Lost Boys with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They also came out on the same day in history, which is also the same day that Ignatius of Loyola died in history, the founder of the Jesuits. But, it's just interesting that would happen. And anyway, I came home, and I don't even know exactly how. I put a pizza in the oven, and I was sitting at the table, like, on my phone, and somehow I stumbled upon Norm Macdonald, and I was watching some of his stand-up, and I realized that he has a whole bunch of jokes about meta jokes, right? And a lot of his stuff is kind of meta humor, and it's just interesting. I was like, Norm Macdonald dies, and then Facebook changes its name to Meta, and Norm Macdonald has a whole bunch of jokes that involve meta. And I was like, there has to be a connection, And I went to my blog and I searched Facebook because I was trying to find the day that Facebook changed its name to Meta. And the first post that came up was this post where I talked about in the Buffy video, like when I went to the band Cheers, and there was a big thing of Clay Matthews sitting behind me on the wall. And then the first post that Facebook gave me was a post about Clay Matthews going to the Los Angeles Rams. So it's just interesting. That would be the first one to come up when I type in Facebook and search on my blog. It's a post that I just recently talked about, and how it's synced up to Cheers and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But notice that Facebook changed its name 1 month and 15 days after Norm Macdonald died, and Facebook equals 115 in the Francis Bacon ciphers. And I've also talked about how this is important to France, and France also equals 115. And the chain of events for me to discover this, it began late at night on 11/5, like 115, into 11/6, 310th day of the year. But I was thinking about France and the connection to Facebook, and Emmanuel Macron, the French president, he became the president on Mark Zuckerberg's birthday, 14/5. And Facebook changed its name to Meta on 10/28, and Norm died 10 months and 28 days after his birthday. But anyway, Emmanuel Macron became the president of France on 14/5. That's Mark Zuckerberg's birthday. And, of course, Catholic equals 145. And, think about the Jesuits who were founded in France and a whole lot more. But I was like, I wonder about Clay Matthews, how he fits in here. And look, Clay Matthews, his birthday also the same day as Mark Zuckerberg's birthday. You know, like what are the odds? Clay Matthews' birthday that same day. Also, I looked up Mark Zuckerberg then, and Mark Zuckerberg, he founded Facebook 3 months and 10 days before his birthday, or also 99 days, right? But 3 months, 10 days, his name in Francis Bacon equals 310. Mark Elliott Zuckerberg equals 310. Something I pointed out just a million times. You know, Bill Gates equals 208. He founded Microsoft 208 days before or after his birthday. Jeff Bezos equals 186. He founded Amazon on the 186th day of the year. Elon Musk and SpaceX. Elon Musk born on the day leaving 186 days in the year, and his name is 186, and a whole lot of other things, you know. And so how interesting, he begins at 3 months, 10 days before his birthday, and his name equals 310. His name also equals 69, like Meta. His name also equals 84, like Facebook. And he was born in 84. Facebook actually stylizes itself with a lowercase f, though, that equals 316 in Francis Bacon, just like Mark Zuckerberg and Francis Bacon. But also, if you go from November 6th, the day that I noticed this thing with Meta, and you go to Mark Zuckerberg's birthday, it's 6 months and 9 days. A span of 6 months and 9 days. Green Bay Packers equals 69. Clay Matthews III equals 60 died. Aaron Rodgers just got coronavirus 3 months and 10 days before Super Bowl 56. Of course, coronavirus equals 56, but remember, 310, this big Buffy the Vampire Slayer number. November 6th, the big day that I was watching for. But I pointed out Clay Matthews is also synced to the Rams, right? So, the Rams that were in Super Bowl 53. There was some other stuff I'm going to skip over, but it made me think of Ron Artest, who's Meta World Peace, right? And his birthday is the same day as the Paris attacks. In 2015, it was his 36th birthday, and Paris equals 36. That was linked up to Pope Francis's visit to the United States. But, trying to think, even more so is today. It's interesting to me because the Rams, it's the Chargers. I messed that up. I just saw Los Angeles, but well, I messed that up. I don't know. I just saw Los Angeles. But for years, I've talked about this interrelated web with the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Rams. That's what I thought this was. That's why I put that in there. I have to fix that. But there's just been this connection, you know, like, and then after I talked about that, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Then the Rams lost in the Super Bowl. Then the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. And, you know, Green Bay is also the team who played the Chiefs in Super Bowl I. And I've talked about the first and the last and a whole lot of stuff. So, but I messed that up anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But I'll have to go back and fix that. But the whole point of this is that, so I noticed this connection to Norm Macdonald and whatever. I was like, I wonder if what season 3, episode 10 of SpongeBob is about. And I still haven't got to watch it, but when you look up season 3, episode 10 of SpongeBob, notice how it talks about how it's praised for its originality and meta humor. I mean, it's just like this type of stuff always happens. I'm being shown to look up SpongeBob, and I'm thinking, maybe I should look up season 3, episode 10. And of course, it's known for its meta humor. Right after I talk about, you know, Norm Macdonald and his meta humor, and Facebook changed its name to Meta. And Meta also equals 95, like SpongeBob. So, and SpongeBob and Krabby Patties, it makes me think how McDonald's had the Travis Scott meal at one point. So, I'm just going to end the video here. My kids keep screaming and whatever, and I really am gonna make this video maybe later tonight about the building collapse stuff, because that's definitely interesting, and it's linked up to my dad and this dream theme I've talked about. But it's just crazy that people can't catch on, you know, and people just don't care that there's the Astros lose the World Series, and there's a Astroworld Festival crowd crush, and then the next day we get the death of a guy named ASTRO. I mean, it's just mind-blowing to me that people don't even care or they just can't even see it, you know? It's like, how in the world do you not even find that interesting and want to look more into it? But I guess that's why I make these videos, you know? There's at least like-minded people will watch these videos and they understand it, so have a good one. Peace out.